Alright, what's up, Dragon Brood? This 5-color humans deck actually just top-8'd an almost 200-person event. And we played something like this similarly, but it's gotten a pretty major update, so let's take a look at it. I just think I made a sentence that didn't make sense there. We played a deck that was similar to this previously, that's what I was saying. Anyway, we're starting with a couple of Zac Fair, because we need a way to protect our creatures, and this happens to be a human. By the way, this deck is all humans, I don't know if I said that. But Cecil Dark Knight happens to be a human on both sides, which is actually very cool. It does play Key to the Side Door, which is very neat because you can make some of the creatures unblockable, and there are some that care about hitting the opponent, which is important. But also, you can discard a extra legend you have a copy of, so that's kind of cool to get to draw 2 cards. Jennifer Walters, keep your opponent from playing stuff on your turn. Couple of Spectacular Spider-Man, so we can try to defend against sweepers. Queen of Dale, this is another way that you could discard a duplicate legend in your hand, which is really nice. Now, there's 3 copies of Wondrous Wasp. I would normally probably only play 2, but hey, the couple of decks I've seen that have done well like this have played 3, so I'm going to go ahead and play 3 and see what it's all about. 1 copy of Miles Morales to put counters on stuff, but also to have a haste creature later in the game. Arachne, this is actually pretty big at slowing down your opponent's sweepers or even artifacts against certain decks, because all we're really caring about is creatures for the most part. 1 Captain America, which does protect a moderate amount of our creatures that happen to also be heroes. Couple of copies of Practiced Offense, because we're still trying to beat down the opponent. Aang Swift Savior, because this can slow down the opponent's spells or bounce a problematic card. King T'Challa, just kind of hanging out because it's a human. Maybe you get some double damage, maybe you get to draw some cards. Cloak and Dagger, this is a fun way to get something important out of your opponent's hand or just get something big out of the way. Now, a fun addition I've seen is Karai, Future of the Foot. This lets you return a creature from your graveyard to your hand, or if you paid the sneak cost, then it goes directly onto the battlefield. And that's actually pretty powerful. We also have Honest Redstein, another way that we can turn something from the graveyard, but it makes all of our creatures cost less. And then we have Seraphara, that also makes your first human you play every turn cost less, but then pumps up all your humans when you transform to the backside. And a copy of Electra, Daughter of the Hand, so maybe we could destroy something small, just because. And then there's also 3 copies of Celestial Reunions, because with everything being humans, we can kind of go toolbox whatever we need to get, right? If it's late in the game and we need to stop a spell, then we go ahead and get Aang so we can counter something, right? Or if it's, hey, we need to get a blocker out of the way, then maybe we just go get Wondrous Wasp to tap something down. Or possibly go get Spider-Man, right? So we have something. So there's a few different kind of toolboxy pieces we could go get in the right spots, if it makes sense. Before we get to the games, though, I gotta remind you, check out our friends over at ManaPool.com, mostly because they have a ton of cards over there, 35 million plus now, I believe, and they have one of the best optimizers in the game. So if you're looking to save some money on the cards you want to pick up and also get it in the fewest packages, check them out. Cool site, and you can get $5 to shop over there if you just use the referral link in the description or in the pinned comment. Oh, you know what? This is kind of fine. Because we could play Zac Fair, maybe attack, pick up Zac Fair, play Arachne, replay Zac. So we could buy a couple of turns, maybe, while we're looking for land. No guarantees, of course. Opponent is going to remove our Zac Fair. Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, well, we got to find other things we can play then. Oh, another Arachne is not it. That is definitely not it. Oh, what is this about? Shapeshifters. Alright, well, let's just take a look at the opponent's hand and see what we're working with. Oh, this is skeletons. I see. Let's just call enchantment for now, I guess. I mean, they can always get rid of our creature with Bitter Triumph, but is what it is. I mean, because they can go Elf Bitter Triumph here, so then we probably just have to play Captain America so we could first strike stuff. Well, that's actually not the worst thing in the world. We also have Aang that can bounce tokens, so we're in an okay spot. I wouldn't call it good just yet. All right. Does Gisa trigger... What does she trigger? Oh, when you commit a crime. All right. Sure. I mean, Captain America at least put things on hold temporarily. All right. So we have two options. We can attack, replay. No, we don't want to do that. That's not really an option. We'll just pass. I was going to say we could attack. They probably won't block. We play Arachne, bounce Captain America, replay it, but that's just kind of inefficient, really. All right. We'll return the Gisa to your hand. He gives all zombies +1/+1 a menace. All right. Well, now we just need to draw something better than what we have is the problem. Attack for 2. I think I'm just going to pay the full price here on Arachne. Let's see what the opponent's working with. So I guess we just call enchantment, because nothing else really matters there. We can't call creature. All right, you have a Gisa. And then we'll return that to your hand. Keep the unblocked one available. This is where I need like a Serapharin. Make our creature so much bigger. Sure, we'll block with these knuckleheads. No, why more land? That is not what we wanted to see. All right, we're gonna be getting real slim. I'll go ahead and put this in tapped. There's a chance we find one of our search spells. And we could just tutor up something, which would be pretty good. I mean, we're probably just dead here anyway, right? Corpse of the Law pumps everything. I mean, I guess we're not technically dead. Yeah, another Lana Ralph. That gives them another blocker, which is bad. So if the opponent all-out attacks, what could we draw that matters? Well, they didn't all-out attack, so that's pretty much gone. So let me think about this. If we take 8, we're pretty much dead next turn, right? Because double blocking Gisa doesn't do much. I mean, I guess we have to. Yeah. All right. Oh, we're not in the blocker step yet. There we go. I think it's still the right call. I mean, we lose the shield counter on Captain America, but... I mean, we got to draw something. We've just drawn land for multiple turns. So we need to draw something real. Or we just die anyway. All right. We bought ourselves about as much time as we can. Yeah, you might as well pick those up and replay them, opponent. I mean, that's just free. Yeah. Okay, that's something. So we Rutstein, pick up, I guess, Arachne. How much mana do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So even if you draw a land, you'll be able to play both of those anyway. But the elves would be tapped. All right, I guess we get an Arachne. I mean, it's also a blocker, so maybe I'm not going to be too upset. Though, we could attack with Aang. And then we could just pick up Aang. And then we can cost the opponent even more mana. Yeah, don't hate that option. And being at 16, I think we should be able to survive most of the relevant attacks. So yeah, this deck has a lot going on. And that was a little bit sloppy to get us here, but I think we're mostly okay. We could also bounce a token or something too if we wanted to, but this is fine. We're just kind of hanging on right now because this feels like this could go sideways at any moment. All right, Mutable Explorer. No! Oh man, why? Why? All right. Sure. In the turn. Yeah, this turn's gonna suck for us. There's gonna be a crap ton of damage. The thing is, the opponent is only at 3, so they can't all out attack because they have to leave blockers behind just in case. And if we can draw like the Wasp, then even one blocker is not enough. They need more than that. The problem is here, though, they get to attack with a lot. And they can activate their creature land. So there's a lot of ways this is bad for us. Yep. All right. What else you got? We knew that was in hand. We have a lot of creatures that are going to be on blocking duty. They just have to decide what's worth it. I mean, the miner gets through. We don't even care about that. Because if we block the miner, then they just get to pick up their enchantments. We don't want that. Okay, that feels kind of all right. Like, that could have been a lot worse, and it just wasn't. I mean, is there a difference? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just trying to think, like, does that extra 1 matter? 1, 2, 3, 4, because the only thing costs 3. Yeah, I'll hold on to Rutstein. Why not? The opponent has enough mana that Arachne doesn't really matter here. Actually, why'd I even block? I could have just let all that through. And the opponent, well, they still would have had 3 blockers, so it's whatever. But if I draw the Wasp, I'll just be sad. And of course I did. Had I not blocked, gosh dang it. Such is the way sometimes. Such is the way. What you gonna do? That's funny. Had I just not blocked, been like, I'll just lose life. It'll be fine. I could have went to 8. Yeah, there was just no need to block there, especially with the opponent tapped out. And I know I have 3 Wasps, so there's a reasonable chance we get to draw one. And the opponent's doing nothing else? Then I guess we tap down on miner? And then we'll just see what happens. And we're at 12. We have 2 flyers. All right. Man, it's so funny. This game would have been over had I just let creatures through. Even now, though, we block one of these and we can take 10? Yeah, so this way you at least force me to block some other things. So we block there. I don't... What's in your hand that could matter? For some reason, I don't feel like they have anything that matters. 4, 7, 8, 9? You're at 1? Yeah, I just don't see a way this matters. I'll still block like that, though. If you get me, you get me. Congrats. Giant growth or something? I don't know. All right, we're at 4. Is that it? Oh, so they're going to gain life. So they go to 3, but they still don't... Well, they could have find a removal spell. Well, no, because they have to stop more than that. Yeah, they needed 2 removal spells. That's not going to be enough. Well, all right, cool. Dang. Yeah, with the opponent tapped out, if I just went down in life and gambled, we would have... I mean, admittedly, it's also a gamble that doesn't necessarily go our way if we don't draw the Wanderous Wasp, but we did, you know, so it is what it is. But that was pretty good, considering the opponent got Gissa and double Corpse of the Lost, and we didn't really get our better cards. We did a pretty good job there. Captain America held the fort, though. Okay. How do we want to proceed? I think... Wow, I just realized Cecil and Sarah Farron can get dangerous, because you're going to be dealing 40 yourself. Don't know how I feel about that. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable, if I'm being honest. But that's okay. Let's try it and see what happens. That's what we're here for, right? I get to experiment, so y'all don't have to. So many multi-lands. Also, if this is a red or a Boros-based deck, damaging ourselves is not necessarily the best thing. Might have to do that thing where we don't actually want to attack with Cecil. Oh, especially against a Manifold mouse. That's some BS. All right. Let's... Because we could call instant with Arachne and hold off on Serapherian for a turn, and we could pick up Cecil, which is a neat idea. So let's do that. I mean, we lose a little life there. Let's go ahead and pick up Cecil. I'm assuming instant is going to be the call. Oh, sorceries. Nope, definitely some instants. Wild Ride is kind of rough, but instant for sure. And then we could play a Zac Fair. Full board gives trample. If the creature is cast... If that creature was cast for its warp cost. Okay. We go to 14. I'm just kind of debating if it's worth playing Cecil here. I'm gonna pass on playing Cecil. I don't think we need to. I think we're playing a dangerous game if we do that. Yep, you got it. Hey, they found a land. Look at them. If you attack, I'm definitely blocking. Just letting you know. I mean, it's almost worth it to play Cecil just because Death Touch would get rid of the thing. So, I mean, maybe that's worth it. All right, our turn. Ooh, that's kind of big too, though. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, so what can you do next turn? As long as Arachne's out there, these are going to cost you 2. That's going to cost you 2. So if you get a land, but these don't give trample on their own. Wild Ride doesn't give trample. Ruiner also doesn't give trample, just puts counters on things. And that ability is a sorcery. Okay, million things happening here. I think we go ahead, play Serapherian. I will take 2, but mostly because I want mana to use on Zac Fair. And I will attack for 4. Because I think we need to do something so the opponent can't just sit there forever. All right. Like, we could have attacked with everything to force them to block one of them, but then we have no blockers, and that's just silly. All right, Wild Ride it is. Another full bore. All right. Man, I guess I should have tapped in a way to leave up mana for Wanderous Wasp. Because tapping down a blocker could be big. Even if they don't attack her, just flashing it in before the end of the turn could have been pretty important. I mean, neither of these trample, so attacking doesn't do anything. Yeah, we just block. I mean, we don't even have to block the challenger, but whatever. Might as well. All right, and then that's game. Sounds good. All right, nice. Whoo! I hadn't really thought about it, but Arachne could be pretty good against a lot of decks, right? We're talking about like the mono blue counter heavy spell elementals decks, right? Against the Izzet prowess decks. Obviously against the red green prowess deck, it was very good as well. So kind of a unsuspecting card that has some pretty big ramifications in a few matchups. Well, 2 pairs usually decent in poker, but it's pretty bad here for our opener. Oh, gosh. I do not like this. I'm surprised it wasn't a duress there. Yeah. I don't even know what I discard if they make us discard, honestly. Okay, well, there's a Prowler. And that's probably going to be good enough for at least a minute. Queen of Dale, I have a feeling they're going to target our queen. We get to draw a discard. Don't even know what it would be right now, truthfully. What if... getting a creature's not bad, though. Yeah, I think we do that. Because we can play Cloak and Dagger, force the opponent to do something. Then we can eventually play Captain America. Oh boy, there's corpses of the lost. Oh geez. Well, Captain America can at least hold the fort against those, kind of. There is Shoot the Sheriff, but I think I will take the Prowler for now. I mean, they could always kill our creature, get the Prowler back, blah, blah, blah. Like, we know the drill. Okay. So, if we play Arachne, and then this will become a 3, but it'll have Menace. So we would take 7 and be at 6. Because I'm trying to just put the Corpses of the Lost on ice for a second. But I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it. Because playing Captain America here doesn't really do anything. Not on its own, anyway. So I think we just play Arachne. Call Enchantment. Play this, put it on human, and hopefully draw some 1 or 2 mana thing next turn. It's kind of what we're banking on. The best card would probably be a Zac Fair, I think. But I wouldn't be upset at like a Wasp or something like that either. I think that could be beneficial. Even, you got it. Everything I want, for the most part, is kind of an odd card, really. Whenever this creature attacks, if you control a creature... Alright. This creature gets plus 1... Why would you... I don't understand. Alright, I guess I'll just take 5 instead of 7 or whatever. Yeah, that seems fine, I guess. Okay, we got a Wasp. That's pretty good. Alright. Pass? Alright, another Prowler. That's unfortunate. I was hoping I'd turn off some of the shenanigans by... Does that work like that? No, he had already triggered it. That's what I thought. Alright. What do we go get that we can search for now? Like, that's the new question. 3 is the max. Oh, wait. We could put it directly onto the battlefield. Could we go get... If we go to 6... Oh, but we'd have to pay 6. And we go to... Ah, dang it. We'd go to 4? That's not good. Alright, I'm going to do this for... I was thinking for a second that I could go get Electra. But she costs 5. And I don't know if I want to take that damage. So let's do this for 3. I feel like 3 makes this cost 4, though. Then we take 2. Blah. What if I... Golly. All right, I'm just going to do it for 3 anyway. I feel like that's correct. All right, we're at 5. All right, well, I guess we could bounce something with Aang. We could go get... What do we have in the graveyard? Just the Cloak and Dagger? Sarah Farron's probably the right answer right now. Let's just do that. Play this tapped. All right. No attack. Just have some giant monsters. We have creatures that are bigger than 4. That's what's important right now. Saboteur, you got it. Sure. And we'll block here. Go to 2. Just double checking. Like, I think this is what we want. All right. Oh, that is not what we want, though. That is very, very bad. No attacks. All right. That eventually makes something larger that will figure out the first strike situation with Captain America, I suppose. I mean, we're dead anyway. There's 2 things with menace. Like, we're dead regardless, so it doesn't really matter. All right, GG's. All right, let's keep it. I said that very quickly, like, yeah, let's just keep it, obviously. But this isn't necessarily a slam dunk. But this deck's tough, man. Trying to figure out all the different things you can do every turn and what you can draw into. I think it's the good and the bad part about playing decks like this. You get the option of, hey, I have all these things the deck can do, but also, like, you're not as consistently going to do any of those things because you only have like 2 and 3 copies of a lot of stuff, right? So that has to be figured in too. Hired Claw. Okay. We're back to this situation, deciding how badly we want to take advantage of a Cecil. All right, Mage-Bane Lizard. Cast a non-creature spell. Got it. Play... Wait. If I attack, play Arachne, replay this. I guess I can at least have the creature untapped, which matters. Right? So let's do that. If that's all I'm going to do for the turn anyway. Let me manually tap, too, to make sure it leaves blue mana available. Alright, what do we got? Thunderous Soloist. I hadn't seen anybody playing with that. Full Bore, Razorkin, Needlehead. Alright, so we'll just call instance. That's fine. And then we'll replay the Wasp. Alright. I mean, they can take out the Wasp if they so choose. And then they don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, sure. I'll just block. I like their plan here, though. See if I block, and then you can just burst lightning the thing that's gumming up their hand. Sure. Like, that works, because they could have just done that anyway. So, you know, what are we going to be bothered by there? All right, Cecil, you're up. Do we do this for 1 right now? But the only other thing we can really get is Zach Fair, which admittedly could help. I think we do. Like, we take a little damage in the process. I wish I could go get land. That would be my for real preferred option here. All right, no attacks. You're up. But either way, if we block with Cecil, I'd rather take 2 than whatever we would take otherwise. Razorkin, Needlehead, you got it. We're going to draw a card. Down to 15. Pass the turn. We're not in bad shape as things stand. Because we can use Aang to defend against something. We could bounce a problematic creature. We can do a lot of things. Arachne does a lot of work though, y'all. Like, for real. I could just bounce Zach Fair, really. I think I am. I think I'm good with that. There's no point putting Burst Lightning back in the hand. We don't want to do that. And now we have something we can attack with. Ooh, and a second practice offense. That's nice. So what I would like to do is attack for 2. In the turn, we can use Zach Fair. We can discard one of these practice offenses to draw, and then we can just try to go off next turn. Turns out against the red heavy decks, Arachne is very good. So you're doing 2 and then 1? All right. I mean, I'll take more damage, but I guess I should have put the counter on Arachne, actually. Putting it on Cecil was a bad idea, because Cecil's just going to block and die anyway. That's his whole lot in life. And I don't mind if Cecil dies, actually. Yeah, sure. We'll draw. Oh, Wasp. There you go. That's not bad. Oh, I have to discard a legendary card. My bad. I can't just discard anything. So if we attack with Cecil, we get a life gainer, and the opponent's only gonna have 2 mana to mess with. Like, yeah, we're not concerned about that. If I go to 9, opponent could use a full bore, but we're gonna tap down the other creature. Just attack with Cecil. Just want to make sure nothing silly happens. All right, should be fine now. Because then we can just make Cecil double strike, and that should be the ball game. Arachne for real is just keeping the opponent from doing anything. Oh yeah, that's all you're doing. We're good with it. Effigy, you got it. I'm just gonna tap down the Needlehead. Do whatever you want to do with the other guys. We don't care. Sure. Why'd you even play the Effigy if it's just gonna go back to hand? But yeah, we lose 2, gain 5. That's a great exchange for us. All right, here we go. Practice offense. We'll put the double strike on you. Double strike. And this should do it, right? All right, cool. Sure. We're going to take a lot of damage here early, though, because we have to take 2, play the Cecil, attack with Cecil, take damage, pick up Cecil to be able to play the Arachne. But, you know, we do what we got to do. All right. Arachne, pick up the Cecil. Opponent has... Oh, artifacts. Lovely. Not mad at that at all. Hell yeah. Yep, we're transforming. I will take max damage. Flip that Cecil. Arachne's just a superstar, man. Yep, that's crazy. Yeah, playing against Synthesizer, we just basically turned their hand off. Like, nothing great. I mean, really, the Serapharian kind of closed the deal, because now we're just attacking for so much at one time. But, yeah, I'll take that. Ooh, I think we have to mulligan that one. Okay, okay. Let's keep it. It's like, yeah, we'll get rid of the side door. I don't know, man. It's interesting because the versions I've seen other people play of this, they really seem to favor key to the side door. However, I haven't found that many great situations to use it in. So, could be a lot of things. Could just be me being worse than them, which is also really reasonable. And turn you off. Darn it. I would have really loved to land there. Land would have been freaking-tastic. Now we're just in a world of hurt. I mean, you're not nothing, I guess. All right. Mockingbird. I block? All right, I'm down with that. Like, didn't know that's a thing that was going to happen, but I ain't mad at it. All right, opponent's at 8. They're also just attacking, but not doing anything else. They're drawing a card. Oh, they're probably trying to get to the 4/3 deal damage, draw cards, whatever thing. Nowhere to run, sure. Wow, are you serious? Sure. Yeah, Wondrous Ross. Getting rid of it now doesn't really bother us that much. Jeez, come on, man. Really? This is when an enchantment enters, you unlock room, you surveil 1. You know what? Let's just get the damage in we can get. I mean, we're stuck on 2 lands. There's only so much we can do. Corpses of the Lost, you got it. Hey, we found a land. Oh my goodness. I feel like we just won the lottery. I don't even know if it matters what we get rid of now. I guess Rutstein can go. We probably keep you. Actually, we can get rid of Captain America here. I think so. Mockingbird, sure. You have some blockers, I guess? We just play Serapharian and attack for lots of many, right? Actually, we could also just block the flying token. Huh, what is better here? Because she only pumps legends, right? So I'd have a 4/2, blah, blah. Eh. I don't like this. But let's at least do it. I can attack with Miles. And they at least have to double block. Or choose not to double block. That's also fair. Also means now we could freely block with the Wasp because, well, we don't get to block with the Wasp, as it turns out. Oh boy, what are we getting rid of? Not a land. I'm just, man, we're so tight for mana. I guess a Zach Fair, sure. Because the thing is, opponent's at 5, so like everything that can block or attack is super important here. Yeah, I guess. Not the craziest thing. Okay, starting town, you're a little bit late to the party. So, and this is for each turn, right? Cast each turn. All right, cool. So let's go ahead, get a blocker out of the way. And then let's just choose to attack, I suppose. Seems legit. In the turn. Opponent's deck's kind of cool, though. They're going to try to copy our Aang, I would assume. You're spending 2 to copy Miles, I guess. All right, that's an idea. Sure. What else you got? Bilbo. Can't be blocked. There goes combat, draw a card. Okay, so their whole deck was based around either having things that can't be blocked or just trying to trick through some damage. Very interesting. All right, take our turn. More things we can't use, unfortunately. But we can play Honest Rutstein to get back Wondrous Wasp. And then we could just make something not block. Yeah. All right, there you go. And in that case, we just make Spider-Man fly, and then they don't have any blockers after we tap down the other flyer. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting deck. I'd be curious to see. I assume they had the 4/3 cat, you know, whenever you deal damage, draw a card, because that would fit perfectly in there. Kind of cool. I wouldn't mind playing a version of that, though. Sweet deck, opponent. Oh, I just realized that's Jay Villain, actually. Well, that was a fun game. Cool deck. I look forward to seeing his video, because that seems like it's going to be pretty sweet. Okay, first things first, this deck has so much to unpack. A lot, man. There's a lot going on here. One thing I would like to see, which is tough, because you are playing a lot of multi-lanes that do not produce colors for non-creature spells. So you would potentially have to make some adjustments if you decided to do this. But I do feel like this deck would be benefited from a couple of hard counters. Whether you're talking about like repulsive mutation that can put counters and counter a thing, so you make a bigger creature and counter something, I think that's fine. I think the charm, the blue-green one, would also be reasonable. Make your opponent pay 2 more, destroy enchantments, because we don't have anything to destroy his artifacts or enchantments really either. Or make a creature bigger, I think could be good. Or even just playing exercise, right? Get rid of a big creature, get rid of artifact, get rid of enchantment. And we don't have anything to do with graveyards, so that's something else too. And you might just have to sit on Aang's for the key turn and then see if you could punch through if you play against those. So that's something to consider. The other thing too is I get what Key to the Side Door is supposed to be doing, right? Being able to make something unblockable, which I could have done in that later game, actually, but just forgot I had the card on the battlefield. I don't know how critical it was to things, but maybe that matters. We didn't really have a spot where using the discard portion would be good, because we either wanted to play the cards we had because we had limited mana, or we didn't want to get rid of the cards we had because we needed the ability, or we had cards in hand we couldn't discard to it because they weren't legends, right? So if there was a card I was going to replace, it'd probably be that one if we're looking for flexibility. But that said, the deck is actually pretty cool. I could see if you were to play this in a tournament and you were playing a sideboard, because there's so many creatures you could mix and match in here for like protecting stuff, for bouncing things, for putting counters on stuff, for gaining life, right? You could find the right pieces to bring in, and there's a lot of human legends that would allow you to do that. So that's another thing. So it has great flexibility. We did have a winning record, which is very good, so I won't complain. And I'll admit, at least one or two of the losses we had were just to my misplays, right? Just searching for the wrong thing or not taking advantage of a situation or forgetting a card was in the deck and then drawing it, right? So different things like that could affect your outcomes too. It's a pretty difficult deck to play at first because there's so many things going on. So just keep that in mind if you decide to play it. But if you do like toolboxy decks, this could be right up your alley and the exact type of deck you want to play. It's actually pretty fun. But I'm going to leave this link up over on Moxfield just like this. I'm not going to make the other changes. I'll let y'all swap out what you want to. But don't forget, get your free money over at ManaPool.com. Go shop for some Magic, add a discount, save some money, and support the channel. Link in the description and in the pinned comment. But that's all of you for now. We'll see you next time.